no matter what type of exercise you're engaging in. It's really important to warm up properly in order to avoid injuries. Definitely when doing calisthenics or body weight type movements where you rely heavily on shoulder stabilization, they literally act like your hips while upside down. Or when performing Olympic lifts or asking your shoulders to stabilize a heavy, explosive load overhead. Also, in powerlifting, especially when going really heavy. I'm sure some of you can tell the importance of proper shoulder warm-up for an exercise such as a bench press. But some of you may not consider warming up your shoulders before yoga. Notice how shoulders are performing a similar function regardless of whether they're pushing weights overhead or pushing your palms down into the floor. They have to be warmed up properly in order to avoid injuries. Aloha, this is Dan, and in this video, I'm gonna show you one of the best, most effective, simplest routines to warm up your shoulders that can be done anywhere before any type of exercise. You're gonna need a 2mm band for this, and if you don't already have one, I'm gonna put a link in the description below where you can find one for under $10. Let's get started. The very first thing we need to do is loop the band with our palms facing down. And now we're just gonna begin stretching this band apart. There's a few things to consider. Number one, you don't wanna over tighten the band. This isn't a strengthening exercise. We're just warming up the shoulders, so you're looking for just enough resistance to build a little bit of tension in your shoulders when you're separating the band, when you're stretching it. Also, it's really important to engage your core so that the body doesn't move around, right? Engage your transverse abdominis so that now everything is stable and only the shoulders are moving. If you're not sure how to do that, I'm gonna put a link above. Check out how to engage the TVA. Also, keep your shoulders low. You have to engage your lats or focus on the muscles in your armpits to keep the shoulders away from the ears, making this exercise safe and effective. For the second exercise, we're gonna repeat exactly the same thing, but we're gonna do it with our palms up now. All the rules apply. Shoulders stay low, core is engaged. Now comes the third exercise. Once again, looping the band with the palms down, we're gonna do shoulder circles. Just like with the previous two exercises, you gotta keep your shoulders down. As a matter of fact, that goes for the rest of this routine as well. Keep the shoulders low, engage your core. Otherwise, it's gonna look kind of funny like this. Notice once I engage that transverse abdominis, the only movement now comes from the shoulders. And since this is the area we're trying to warm up, it's kind of important to engage the core. Now, let's look at these supinated band stretches. For this one, the hands have to be pointing up, the elbows should remain underneath the shoulders, and just pull the band apart. It's really important to not separate your elbows away from the body. They don't have to hug the ribs, but they have to stay relatively close so that you can practice external rotation of the shoulder by simply moving your hands in and out instead of just moving your elbows in and out. Also, make sure you bring the shoulders down and back so that they sit in the proper space, in the proper place for you to do this exercise correctly. Last but not least, let's take a look at Ys and Ws. Let's start with the Ys. For this exercise, it's kind of important to keep your elbows completely straight. Notice how, once again, I'm engaging my core here, keeping my shoulders low, and I do not want to bend my elbows because otherwise it will be more of an elbow exercise, right? You want to make sure that the elbows are completely locked out and that all the movement happens at the shoulder joint and not anywhere else. Now this is a W. Notice here, my hands, elbows, and shoulders are all on the same line before I raise the hands up. This is really, really important to ensure proper shoulder activation. Once again, from the back view, you notice a straight line before the hands come up. Elbows back, hands come up. Avoid keeping your shoulders up, just like with the previous 4 exercises. This will hurt your neck. This will hurt your shoulders. Also, avoid putting on a hoodie. This is what I call when people actually put the band over their head. Notice how now the elbows are not in the same line with the shoulders. Keep everything in a straight line, then the hands come up. Elbows move back, hands come up. If If you don't have a pole to attach your band to, try using one of these door anchors. I'll put a link down in the description below where you can find one relatively cheap on Amazon. But here the foam part goes inside the door and creates a loop on the outside that's completely secure for you to strap your band through. And now you can do your W's anywhere there's a door. Now that you know what you're doing, why don't you come and do it with me? Let's put it all together in this follow along shoulder warm-up routine. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you learned anything at all, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to this channel so that you can be notified when new videos are out. And in the meantime, check out this video on shoulder health and how to do more pull-ups. Until next time, this is Dan Kayser reminding you to live Pono and train with Aloha.